Thank you very much, Jenna. Now, most of us have seen the extreme examples of people who are in fact hoarders, but can you spot the warning signs and what's the best approach to dealing with someone who has a serious problem? Here to help with that is professional organizer Susan Macauley. She joins us from Clarity Over Clutter. So let's define what makes someone a hoarder. How do we not know that they're just messy and like to collect things?
Okay, the acquisition and failure of discarding useless items. Garbage bags, empty cans, food containers, that type of thing, free flyers and all that type of stuff.
Okay.
Difficulty discarding. So in other words, what they would do is avoid making the decision.
Of having to get rid of something.
Exactly,
okay.
Because it's too uncomfortable to deal with the losing of those things.
All right.
Living in spaces that are greatly cluttered, blocked entrances and exits in homes, blocked windows, closed drapes, a large accumulation of items, filling spaces, not being able to use the rooms that they have in their homes. Mm-hmm. Social isolation.
So when the disorganization, and we use the term loosely, when the disorganization becomes, takes over the place, takes over the space, takes over their life, is when they're actually a hoarder. I understand this is a psychological issue and very difficult, but can we tell people a brief example of why people become hoarders? Why do people, smart people, successful people, wealthy people, let this happen to themselves or have this happen to themselves?
Chronic disorganization or hoarding does not focus on one gender, one age group. It goes across all levels for all people. There is no pinpoint because everybody's situation is a little bit different. Again, it could be, triggered from something that happened to them. There is a study that was done by Johns Hopkins University that stated that, found that 5%, as high as 5% of a population are dealing with hoarding issues.
Wow, that is a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. And for the most of the time, people who come forward looking for help or looking for information are females.
Okay.
Men usually keep it quite quiet and to themselves. It's very embarrassing. It's very shameful to have someone, you're exposing your life and what goes on in your home to a person. So they just keep the doors shut so people aren't allowed to see in.
Close the blinds and the problem stays all theirs. So what do you do as a professional organizer when it comes to working with someone who is a hoarder? Because you're one of very few professional organizers who will work with someone who has this problem.
Right. One of the things when I work with someone who's dealing with hoarding, there's usually other people that would be involved in the situation. It's called collaborative therapy.
Okay.
It could be a social agency
that
I'm working with their social workers to work with a client. It could be a therapist, it could be a psychiatrist, it could be family members that have called me in, and what I might do at some point, depending on if they're able to work through things, the client.
Sure.
If we all of a sudden hit a wall, and I've done this with some clients where I've said, we've come so far, I would recommend now maybe you talk to somebody and I'll provide information of who they can get a hold of.
So it's not one problem, hey, we need to clean up this mess, because the odds are the hoarder will go back to their old ways. It's everyone working together to get this person that they help, get the help they need from several different avenues. Mm-hmm.
The other thing that's very interesting with hoarding is blitz cleanouts are not effective as...
The things we see in the TV show where they come in and bulldoze the entire place.
In 2 days.
That person goes right back to that collection.
Well, there's actually stats that show that effectiveness of clearouts show that 43% did not change their behavior, but relocated their possessions. 7% showed initial improvement, but then relapse. 15% clutter hoarding behaviors worsened because of the threat of things being taken away. Now they're going to even accelerate more into hanging on to more things.
So it's not just about cleaning, it's about addressing the roots of the issues. If you know someone who needs assistance, you're actually going to find the links for Clarity Over Clutter and other useful opportunities through your breakfasttelevision.ca. Going to take a break, Susan. Always a pleasure. Plenty still to come today on BT.